Thanks for continuing to watch the Making of Zoo Lights 2021. In this episode, we're going to talk to Louie Cortez, a local enthusiast who decorates his parents' house for the holiday season. Many of you have seen the magic of the Cortez house over the past several years with the wonderful displays that Louie does and choreographs to music. Last year, Louie was gracious enough to help us out for Zoo Lights 2020, but we don't think that we actually gave him enough of a challenge to bring our event to life. This year, Louie is choreographing a whole unique display right in the middle of Dung Beetle Square, located here at Camp Cowabunga. So we're going to talk to Louie to learn a little bit more about how he approaches Zoo Lights.
Hi, my name is Louie Cortez, and I am one of the programmers here for the Topeka Zoo Lights. I am responsible for programming the control boxes throughout the zoo. The control boxes allow us to animate, sequence, fade up, fade down, and do all sorts of effects for the lights. So it started out when I was in high school. I saw a YouTube video of like a light show that went viral, and I was like, I'm gonna do this one day. So I did a bunch of research. I looked and found what I needed to do. My first light show was actually with this little 8-channel Walmart brand controller, which I had to jury rig to allow more lights. But I eventually found out a company that makes controllers. And from there, my show has grown from 16 channels all the way up to 300 plus channels. So we do our own Christmas light show at my parents' house here in Topeka. It's a musical light show with a bunch of LED lights, RGB color changing lights. It's programmed to over 40 different songs. So I was approached by Jared to help with the zoo. So he asked if I'd be willing to help out and kind of consult with the show. I thought it'd be a great thing to do for the community, since there's not much like this here in Topeka. You find stuff like this in like bigger cities like Kansas City or Wichita. This is just an event that's very unique to Topeka and its community. It's also a great way to kind of make those memories with your kids, because one of the things that I remember as a kid was driving through Potwin or Winter Wonderland with my parents to look at the Christmas lights. So the program we use, it's called Lightorama Sequencer. The company itself is called Lightorama, and they are the ones that actually make the software. All the software, you have to manually program the lights what you want it to do. It's not just some click and go, it's gonna automatically do it. You actually have to tell each individual channel or light when to fade up, when to fade down, and having to time it all out to music at the same time. For every 30 seconds you see, it takes about an hour to program. So we break it down like 10 seconds is an hour, so you have a 10-second frame, and that takes an hour to tell each light what to do, like fade up, fade down, what color it should be, strobe, twinkle. For an entire song, it can take me a week or longer just to fine tweak it to where everything's hitting on a beat or it has the effect that I'm looking for. Yeah, so back in 2018, I programmed one of my songs to Ready For It by Taylor Swift. So I ended up posting the video onto Twitter and Facebook. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anyone was gonna view it. I'm like, oh, just me having fun. Turns out I woke up in the morning, there were over like 6,000 likes on Twitter, 3,000 retweets. On the Facebook, there was about like 5,000 shares, hundreds of comments, and I was like blown away. I had no idea it was gonna blow up like this. So the next thing I know is I have like Good Morning America, like CBS, ABC, all these big news outlets reaching out to me to like feature the show on their like morning program or all their news outlets. So I said, sure, why not? Little did I know, Taylor saw it through Twitter. And so she was able to find the address for the house and send me a care package, 18 pounds of merch and a handwritten letter. So for me, that was something that I would have never imagined would have happened. I didn't think Taylor would, I mean, I knew Taylor would like give gifts out to her fans and whatnot, but I wasn't expecting anything like this from her. The favorite part would have to be the feedback. Every time I talk to someone, whether it's at the zoo or outside the zoo, they had nothing but great things to say. There was an event that I had never seen before, especially in Topeka, and them seeing just how big it encompasses the zoo. It's a big display, and a lot of people are just kind of blown away at all the lights, all the colors, and they just overall loved it. Like their kids loved it. It was a huge hit with the community. And every time I tell people like, oh yeah, worked on the lights for the Topeka Zoo. Like, oh, what'd you do? I'm like, oh, I programmed everything. They're like, wow, it must have taken a lot of time. So yeah, it is a big challenge, but it's a fun challenge. Because I know in the end, it's something that the Topeka community is going to really enjoy.